Yo, what's up, guys? All right, so I'm back. Week 2 of the NFL is coming around tomorrow. Got a lot of games to go through. I'll go through a couple of last week's games. We'll start with the Thursday night game between the Chiefs and the Broncos. You know, a lot of people are talking about Peyton Manning and he's not the same player and, you know, this and that. We know he's not the same player. The guy's had 4 neck surgeries. You know, he's getting old, obviously. And not only that, they changed his offense. He's doing a lot more stuff from under center now, which he's not comfortable with. But they're still winning games. And he did throw for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yeah, he threw 2 picks. But he did win the game. Now, granted, Jamal Charles fumbled, and that helped. But it is a team game, and that, you know, it can't just be all about the quarterback. You know, it's offense, it's defense, it's special teams, all that. So, Peyton Manning might not have played great, but he did enough to win. And his defense helped him out and got a turnover to seal the game. So, you know, until I see Peyton Manning just blow it completely, I'm not going to say that he's done. Now, he's done in the fact that this is going to be his last year, most likely. I think it would be foolish for him to come back. I mean, you can see he definitely does not have the arm strength that he used to have, which is kind of funny because he's actually overthrowing guys and not underthrowing them. And he doesn't have that touch that he used to have. But he still gets it done. So, like I said, until I see him completely fall apart or whatever the case may be, I'm not going to sit here and say that he's done. I do think that the Broncos are a playoff team strictly because of Peyton Manning. And until I see otherwise, I'm going to keep thinking that way. So, you got that game that, you know, like I said, Thursday. I got to go back and talk about it. The Giants game. The Giants gave Dallas that game. Okay? The referees gave Dallas that game too. And I'll get into that in a second. But the game was theirs. And they just completely blew it at the end with that stupid play call about passing the ball on 3rd down. What helped Dallas there before that play even happened, though, is they kept getting penalties. So the clock kept stopping. And that kind of messed things up because they weren't able to, you know, take the clock down the way they wanted to. So that really messed things up. And then the play call heard around the world, throw it on 3rd down. Stupidest play in the world. On everybody's part. Coughlin's part, McAdoo's part, Eli's part. That whole thing was just ridiculous. To call a stupid passing play on 3rd down. I knew eventually I was going to get this guy. Can I do a pick 6? You know, I've seen more clipping penalties in this game this year than I ever want to look at in my life. It's like once a game, they got to give a clipping penalty. And not only that, they do it to both teams most of the time. It's ridiculous. Why they put the clipping penalty in the game that dramatic and that drastic is utterly stupid. But whatever. It's part of the game. You just got to overcome it. So, stupid play call all the way around on everybody involved in that. Okay? But, this is not to give the Giants a break. I'm not excusing them in any way. See that little juke? Little stutter step? Here's the problem. Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie got called for a pass interference play. Okay? It was not pass interference. And anyone who says it was pass interference doesn't know football. Okay? The NFL actually came out a couple of days ago and said that was not a penalty. And they blew the call. Well, great. Thanks, NFL, for letting us know that. Are you going to restart the game for us? No. So why bother saying anything? That's the problem there. Then, on that stupid passing play, well, I just got crushed. Daniel Fells was being held in the end zone which they also said should have been a penalty that they didn't call. So the DRC play, to me, besides the passing play, all right, besides the passing play, the DRC play was the call that changed the game, because it gave Dallas 4 extra points, and they won by 1 point. They would have kicked the field goal there. They would have been down by 4, and the game would have been. We would have been having a completely different conversation now. I totally believe that 100%. Meanwhile, we're getting jobbed all over the place right now. I should have thrown the ball. That is a time where I should have thrown the ball away instead of taking a sack. Come on, Eli. Stop screwing the pooch on me. I'm not afraid of this guy, though. I think I'll stop him again. I'll force him into some kind of interception. So, basically, the Giants let Dallas off the hook. So now they're going to come in. They're going to play Atlanta. It's their home game. They're going to be really pissed off and motivated to get that game out. I told you I'd force them into something. That should have been a user pick, by the way. I don't know why they didn't give it to me. But, whatever. They're going to be pissed off about the Dallas game. They're going to be motivated to prove everybody that it was a fluky thing. It won't happen again. They're going to be focused. All bets will be covered as far as the play clock goes, and when to take a sack and when to throw it. All that stuff will be covered. They're playing in Giants Stadium. Julio Jones is nursing a hamstring injury, so I don't know how effective he's going to be. And the Giants have won the last 4 out of 5 games against Atlanta. So I firmly believe that the Giants are going to win that game. Then they're going to come around, do a quick turnaround and play Washington on Thursday night, which I also think they're going to win. Now, the thing that sucks about that is they could be looking at 3-0. Now, granted, anything can happen. The games haven't been played yet, and this is all my opinion and whatever. But I do firmly believe that they could potentially be looking at 3-0 right now with these next 2 games coming up. So it just sucks. It's football. It happens. Just move on from it. They're professional. They know what they got to do. Just correct it. And don't let it happen again. Simple as that. So let me run these games down for you real fast. Got the Patriots and the Bills. The Bills absolutely embarrassed the Colts. Okay? And I did pick the Bills to win that game. So it's not a second guess on me. Boy, did I just get lucky. That could have gotten really bad. Wow, that was a close play. That was similar to my pick against him. This guy, I actually don't think this guy's all that bad. I'm not afraid of him, but I don't think he's bad. I just think he's made some bad plays, and I've capitalized on them. But that all comes down to good users, obviously. So, but the Bills got a little something going right now. They got Rex Ryan. He's out to prove that he can get it done as a coach. You got Tyrod Taylor. He's looking solid right now. Percy Harvin, you saw what he did. They got a solid defense with Mario Williams and those guys. But it is the Patriots. Now, I do think the Bills can win, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but I don't think they will, because it's Brady, it's Belichick, and until those 2 guys prove me otherwise, the smart money is to take the Patriots. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost, but I don't think they will. All right, then you got the Texans and the Panthers. Kuechly's not playing. He's still got a concussion. They're going to keep him out a little longer, which is smart. Make sure everything's all cleared. Look at this, another pick, DRC. Getting the field goal range. Yeah, I can hit this field goal, I think. I'm going to run one play, maybe try and get a yard or 2, make it a little easier. That guy kept my timeouts and I didn't panic. There we go. That's all I want. Just give me a little breathing room. Give me a nice 10-0 lead. I'm getting the ball at halftime, so I should be in good shape. So Kuechly's not playing. Keep him out a little longer. Make sure he's healthy. That's a smart move there. The Texans are a mess. Until they get their quarterback situation straightened out, they're just not going to be good. They have a good defense. Obviously, they have Wilfork. They got J.J. Watt, Brian Cushing, guys like that. They have a good defense, but until their offense can help them, okay, they're not going to win a lot of games. No Arian Foster still. He thinks he's going to play again this year after suffering that groin injury. We'll see, but either way, that's still weeks, if not months away. And then, like I said, the quarterback situation is just a mess. So I'm picking the Panthers. I'm picking the Panthers to beat the Texans, even without Kuechly. I mean, they still have Thomas Davis. They got Cam Newton, who I can't stand, but they do have him. Greg Olsen, guys like that. They do have some playmakers. Then you got the Chargers and the Bengals. All right, the Chargers. What can you say about them? They were down and out. I think they were down 21-3, and they came back to beat the Lions. And the Lions should be sick right now with how that game turned out, because they had the game well in hand, and to lose like that is just unbelievable. Now, the Lions have not won in San Diego in the history of their franchise, which is, now granted, NFC, AFC, and all that, but you would think in the history of their franchise, they have never won in San Diego. That's crazy. And nothing changed last week. So I don't know. To me, this is a pick'em game. It's a coin toss game. The Bengals are not a bad team. They got some playmakers on offense. AJ Green, Mohamed Sanu, Jeremy Hill's starting to become a star running back. Andy Dalton, guys like that. But I don't know. The Chargers, you got Phillip Rivers still. You got Antonio Gates, Keenan Allen. I mean, they got good players on their side too. Coming off a big win, maybe they ride that momentum high. It could be an emotional letdown. I mean, it goes both ways. But I actually expect a high-scoring game from that, and I do think that the Chargers are going to win. I don't know why. I guess more because I have more faith in Rivers than I do in Andy Dalton, and that's not to knock Andy Dalton. I just think that Rivers is a better quarterback. They got the Bucs and the Saints. Boy, I couldn't have picked more wrong than I did last week. I was so convinced in my mind that the Bucs were going to win that game. I thought that the Bucs were a better team. I thought they were a more polished team. They were at home. I know it was rookie against rookie. And boy, Jameis Winston looked like he didn't know which way was up in that game. And Mariota looked like a 10-year veteran. The Saints, on the other hand, I've said this a million times, the Saints cannot win on the road. They just can't. And Breeze, for as good as he is, he just can't win on the road. But they are home, and the Bucs are a mess. So I do think the Saints are going to win that game. You got the Niners and the Steelers. The Niners absolutely demolished the Vikings, which I was really surprised about. You look at the Niners, all the guys that retired last year, and guys they lost, and all that stuff that went on, and Colin Kaepernick trying to relearn how to play the quarterback position from the pocket, and things like that, and to come out and destroy the Vikings, who a lot of people, including me, are picking the Vikings to be a possible playoff team this year. Adrian Peterson, Teddy Bridgewater, guys like that, getting their second year with Bridgewater coming in, and Peterson coming back with something to prove, and boy, they just didn't show up. Now, that's the end of that game. I'm going to try and finish this. Let me just finish this real quick. I'll try and pick up another game in the meantime, and we'll go through this real fast. The Steelers, they're coming off a loss to the Patriots, a game that they could have won. They're going to be motivated to come out and win, and put a good game together. Roethlisberger hasn't lost back-to-back games since 2013. They are playing in Pittsburgh. I do think the Steelers are going to win that game. So it should be a good one, though. I actually expect that to be more of a defensive game. I guess maybe that's just because the way that the Steelers, the Steelers are kind of just this gritty, workman-like, down and dirty kind of team. And I don't mean dirty like, that's his excuse for getting his ass kicked. You saw that, right? That's his excuse for getting his ass kicked. It had nothing to do with the fact that I had, 3 user picks on him. It's the fact that, you spent money on what? Just drop dead, okay? It's all about the users, all right? And I could prove that, so I'm not worried about it. Boy, people get mad. All right, so I do pick the Steelers to win. I do think it's going to be more of a defensive game, but I do pick the Steelers to win. And you got the Titans and the Browns. We just talked about Mariota, and Manziel is starting this week, and he couldn't have looked worse. I mean, he looked like a chicken with his head cut off last week. And Mariota, on the other hand, like I said, looked like a 10-year vet. I think the Titans are going to win that game. I don't even think it's going to be close. Maybe Manziel looks better now that he's got a full week of practice under his belt, but we'll see. I think that the Titans are going to win that game. Then you got the Cardinals and the Bears. The Bears actually played better than I thought they would against the Packers, and they actually had a chance to win that game. But it was just too much Aaron Rodgers. The Cardinals, on the other hand, if Carson Palmer stays healthy this year, the Cardinals are going to be a good team. I mean, they got a good defense. They got Calais Campbell, Patrick Peterson, guys like that. And then they still have Larry Fitzgerald. They got Carson Palmer, like I said, if he stays healthy. They got a decent mixture of players on both sides of the ball, and it could be really good. The Cardinals could have a good year. The Bears, they're rebuilding, obviously. Like I said, I think they'll be competitive in games. I just don't expect them to win a lot of games. But they'll be in most games, I think. But I do pick the Cardinals. Then you got the Lions and the Vikings. I don't know which way to go with this game. The Vikings got destroyed, like I said, and the Lions pissed away a huge lead and lost. I know they're playing in Minnesota, but based on what I saw from the Vikings, I got to pick the Lions because at least the Lions can score points. All right, they got Calvin Johnson, Golden Tate. They do have a good, decent defense. Glover Quinn, and granted they lost Sue, but they still have some playmakers on defense. Stephen Tulloch is back, so I think the Lions are going to win that game. Falcons and Giants we already talked about. I do think the Giants are going to win the next two games, which is going to make it all the more frustrating with the Dallas game that they could be looking at potentially 3-0. And it would be nice if I could get a tackle on a guy. Then you got the Rams and the Redskins. The Rams beat Seattle. I picked Seattle to win that game. I actually picked them to win that game going away. I was really surprised that they won. And then I thought about it after the fact, and I wish I would have corrected it at the time I said it. The Rams have beaten Seattle a couple times, actually, over the past 2 or 3 seasons. They just always seem to play them tough. So I spoke too quickly on that game. I probably still would have picked Seattle to win, but I probably would have said it would have been a closer game. And it wound up that, the Rams did almost lose. Okay? Good, we're going to swap rushing touchdowns. So that's cool. Mine's more impressive, though, because I made moves. He just broke tackles. I'm only kidding. It was good on both sides. Anyway, so the Rams, they got Nick Foles. Obviously, it looks like it was a good move by them. Aaron Donald is starting to turn into J.J. Watt all of a sudden. Obviously he got the Team of the Week player for Madden. and there's no surprise why. I mean, he dominated in that game. Then they got the special teams. You saw what Tavon Austin did. So the Rams are a solid team. They got a good head coach and Jeff Fisher. Everyone knows that. Offense, special teams, and defense. They're solid. They're not great anywhere, but they're good pretty much everywhere. They're solid. They're a solid team. The Redskins, on the other hand, are a mess. Okay, they got Kirk Cousins starting a quarterback. They still don't know what they're going to do with RG3, whether they're going to trade him or what's going on with him. Deshaun Jackson's not. I don't think he's playing because he's got a bad hamstring. If you watched that game last week, he was running down the field. It looked like he was just running a streak, and he pulled up and he grabbed his hamstring, and it looked like a bad one. So, come on, man. Talk about pocket presence. That's pocket presence. We're talking about Mariota. There you go. But it would have been nice to get a sack there. I mean, how much time do you want to give a guy? Oh, who the hell was blocking? That's Kiwanuka rushing in against, I don't know who that was, blocking me. But anyway, so I just think the Redskins are a mess. No Deshaun Jackson. Kirk Cousins is starting again. Still don't know what they're doing with RG3. The Rams are a solid team. They're up and coming. I don't expect this game to be close, to be honest with you. I really don't. I'll be shocked. Granted, they're playing in Washington. I don't think that means anything in this game. I'll be shocked if the Rams don't blow them out. Similar game is the Ravens and the Raiders. Derek Carr, he hurt his throwing hand, and it seems like the Raiders just can't be good. I don't know why or what happened to them over the years, but it's like that's where players go to die now. Okay? I don't think Charles Woodson's not playing. He got hurt. Derek Carr's throwing hand is hurt. Just too much stuff going on there. The Ravens, they got Joe Flacco, and now Terrell Suggs is out. He tore his Achilles, so he's gone for the year, but I still think that the Ravens got enough on both sides of the ball to beat the Raiders and probably beat them pretty easily. I think that's going to be a similar situation to the Rams game. Wow, can we not give up a screen for almost 20 yards? This game's turning out. It looks like it's going to start turning into a shootout. Looks like I force him into some kind of miscue. But he's got great pocket presence, this guy. There was one miscue, so we did hold him to a field goal. I'm actually surprised he's kicking a field goal, but you know what? Good, I respect that. I probably wouldn't do it. Well, if I was at the 1 yard line, I wouldn't be kicking a field goal. If I was at the 3, yeah, I'd probably kick it, especially in the context of this game right now, because this guy looks like he's pretty decent, and I don't want to give him any bailouts, and I don't want to leave points off the board. So I think I would probably take a field goal there too. Smart play. Don't give up points if you don't have to. All right, so back to the games now. You got the Dolphins and Jaguars. Dolphins. Well, all right. Let's talk about Ndamukong Suh first. This guy, I said this actually in the offseason when the Dolphins first got him. He's a dirty player. He is a bad penalty waiting to happen. Meaning, what's going to happen is they're going to stop somebody in a crucial spot, and then he's going to do something dumb and get a bad penalty thrown on him, and it's going to give the team a first down and possibly cost them a game because he's just a dirty player. There's no way around it. Even if he does something by accident now, you're not going to take him at his word, and you're not going to give him the benefit of the doubt because there's been too many scenarios and too many instances now where he's been involved in things like this. But with that being said, the Dolphins, the AFC East in general is solid all around. I mean, the Jets got a good defense. If their offense can just do enough and not do anything crazy, they're going to be in a lot of games this year. The Patriots are the Patriots. The Bills, we just talked about them and their defense, and now it looks like their offense is relatively solid. So that, you know, the AFC East, the AFC East is going to be a pretty fun division to watch this year. The Jaguars, I don't even know what to say about the Jaguars. Blake Bortles, I mean, does he do anything for you? He doesn't do anything for me. I'll take Tannehill and the Dolphins and the dirty player Sue over the Jaguars any day. You know, the Dolphins just got too many players. Cameron Wake, you know, Mike Wallace, you know, like I said, Tannehill. They got too many good players for the Jaguars to keep up with. Sorry, I'm looking at something real quick. I made a mistake. Mike Wallace is not on the Dolphins. Jarvis Landry is, so I apologize. That's my mistake. But either way, I still think that the Dolphins have too many weapons, and I don't think the Jaguars can keep up with the Dolphins. So that's my pick for them. Now the next game. This game is going to kill me to even say these words. But I have to do it. I have to do it, and I don't want to do it. But because I'm a Giants fan, and because it's going to help them, I need the Eagles to beat the Cowboys. Okay? Because it'll leave the Eagles 1-1 in the division. It'll leave Dallas 1-1 in the division. If the Giants do what I think they're going to do over the next 2 weeks, wow, man! I thought that was going to be a user. I was right there too. Oh, man, that was close. So if the Giants do what I think they're going to do, and that's win the next 2 games, then it'll leave Dallas 1-1 in the division. It'll leave the Eagles 1-1 in the division, and then it'll leave the Giants 1-1 in the division, assuming they beat Atlanta and Washington. So I really need the Eagles to win that game, and it kills me to say that. Because there's my user. There's my user. That was the mistake that I needed too, because I think I could kind of put this game out of reach now. But anyway, it kills me to say that because I fucking hate the Eagles. I hate the Eagles with everything that I have in me, and for personal reasons. I'm not going to get into them right now. I've told this story before, and I'll tell it again one day. But I just don't want to get into it right now, but I can't stand the Eagles. If I had to choose between Dallas winning a Super Bowl, Washington winning a Super Bowl, put it this way: if I had to choose between, if they said, all right, Dallas can win a Super Bowl, Washington can win a Super Bowl, it's my choice, okay? My choice. Or the Eagles, you know, the Giants gotta go 0-16. Okay? Dallas gotta win a Super Bowl. Washington gotta win a Super Bowl, but the Philadelphia Eagles will never win a Super Bowl. I would sign up for that in a heartbeat. That's how much I hate the Eagles. I would suffer through an 0-16 season. I would suffer through back-to-back Dallas and Washington Redskins Super Bowls while the Giants were 0-16 if the Eagles would never get a Super Bowl. I fucking hate the Eagles. But I need them to win. I don't think they're going to win. I think Dallas is going to win. But I need the Eagles to win. Seahawks-Packers. The Seahawks are in trouble. The Seahawks are in a lot of trouble. Okay? Still no Cam Chancellor. You got the players now wearing his jersey at practice. Just shows you where they're at. They're pissed off. They lost that game to the Rams. Now, granted, they did make a comeback and all that kind of stuff, but they did lose. All right? and now they're going into Green Bay. And it's not a revenge game anymore. Last year's over. It happened. It's done with. But Russell Wilson threw 4 interceptions in that game and needed everything that could be cosmically possible in the universe for them to win that game. And it happened. It was the most magical game you ever saw. Onside kicks went their way. 2-point conversions went their way. Guys picking off interceptions and not running with them and going down in the middle of the field going their way. I mean, they needed everything in the world to go their way, and it happened to go their way. But one important thing in that whole mix was that Aaron Rodgers was also hurt in that game. Okay? He's not hurt this year. Okay? Now, granted, they don't have Jordy Nelson. Okay? But they do have Randall Cobb. They do have James Jones. They're playing at home. That was close. They're not going to give me a safety. Okay. Whew. I thought they were going to give me that safety bullshit that they used to do last year. So anyway, so they still have Randall Cobb. They have James Jones. They have Aaron Rodgers. They got Clay Matthews. They got Julius Peppers. They got Clinton Dix. They got Morgan Burnett. He's hurt right now. I don't know if he's going to play, but they do have Demarius Randall, the draft pick, the rising star. I actually have him on my budget squad. He's a good player, actually. He picks off a lot of passes for me. I think the Seahawks are staring at 0-2. I really do. I don't see a scenario with the mess that Seattle is right now internally, and then coming off that loss to the Rams. I don't see them going into Green Bay and beating them. It could happen. Don't get me wrong, it definitely could, but I don't see it happening. Too much Aaron Rodgers and all that, and plus I think Russell Wilson's garbage anyway as a quarterback. That's just my opinion on that. You guys can fight me on that all day long, but I'm going to keep saying it and saying it and saying it. Running quarterbacks don't win consistently. Okay? It's funny. Speaking of, we have a radio station here. I'm in Jersey, okay? And we have a radio station. It's WFAN in New York. And the day after the Giants game, this is hilarious. And I'm glad it happened, and I appreciate you guys watching and keeping tabs and all that kind of stuff and following me. It really, I do appreciate it a lot. I really do. So this radio station is called WFAN. It's the tri-state area. It's New York, and they talk about the Mets, the Yankees, the Knicks, the Rangers, the Devils, the Nets, the Jets, the Giants. Sport. It's a sports network, but it's obviously local. And I called. I used to call the fan a lot. I haven't called regularly in a long time. I just don't, for whatever reason. It's hard to get through and pain in the ass. But once in a while, I'll pop in. I'll give them a call. And I called them after the Giants-Dallas game. And I said, why the hell? I don't understand the Giants thinking. How did Preston Parker make the Giants and James Jones got cut? I don't understand that for the life of me. Preston Parker couldn't catch a fucking cold. Okay? Meanwhile, James Jones, all he does is come back to Green Bay, reunited with Rodgers, and catch 2 touchdown passes. And we got Preston Parker, who's a human drive killer. Okay? 3rd and whatever, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, you want the drive stalled, throw it to Preston Parker, because he's not going to catch the ball. So I called the fan, and I was talking about that, and I was talking about the play calls, and all that kind of thing. One of my subscribers actually heard me talking, and commented on one of my videos and asked me if I had called in, and I told him I did. So I thought that was kind of funny, and like I said, I do appreciate it. All the comments, good or bad, and you guys follow me and all that. I really do appreciate it. So. I just thought that was kind of funny story that someone actually heard me on the radio, and brought it up. I thought that was kind of cool. So, the last game, Now this is a tough game. Jets Colts. The Jets are in a bad spot here. I'll tell you why. Andrew Luck is coming off a game in which he was embarrassed. He was absolutely embarrassed by the Bills. Okay? So he's going to come in motivated as hell to put that game in his rearview mirror as fast as possible. No T.Y. Hilton. I understand that. No T.Y. Hilton. But they do have Frank Gore. They do have Andre Johnson. Like I said, they do have a pissed off Andrew Luck. They got some playmakers on defense still, Vontae Davis and guys like that. It's going to be their home opener. Man, I was going for a user on that. I was right there, too. I just overshot it. Boy, was that close. That's twice now I've had that. Man, that was close. Well, okay, that was a great little run. So, all right, so back to the Colts-Jets. So, the Colts, like I said, they're going to come in highly motivated. It's a home game, prime time. Fans are going to be into it. They're going to be focused. They're going to be pissed off. The Jets came off a win, but, they came off a win against the Browns. All right? And Johnny Manziel, who can't get out of his own way. Now, granted, that game looked dodgy for a little while because, Fitzpatrick threw that interception. But Brandon Marshall all of a sudden looks rejuvenated. He strips the ball and gets the ball back for his team. That was a great... You know what? Sometimes you just got to take your hat off to a guy and give him credit for a good play. That was a good play. I was right there. Now, granted, none of this should have happened because I should have my user pick. But that was a good play. I got to be honest. So, good for him. Oh, can I run this back? I'm still yet to run one of those back. I don't know if you guys know this. With the rule change now, if you go for two and you get stopped, like if you fumble the ball, if you get picked off, and you run it back the other way, you get 2 points for that. So that's pretty cool. I almost got hit stick fumbled there too. It's like every hit that he gets on me is a hit stick. I gotta be careful. I don't want to fumble the ball and give this guy, let this guy back in the game. So I'm sorry. I know I'm trying to focus on the game too, but let me get back to the Jets and the Colts for a second. So the Jets got their win, yes, but like I said, they got it against the Browns and Johnny Manziel. Brandon Marshall played great. Their defense played good. Antonio Cromartie's not playing in this game, but he's not out for the year. He just got a knee injury. It wasn't an ACL or anything like that. It looked like it might have been the way that play went down, but it turned out it's just a sprain. But they are going to keep him out, which is smart. Similar to the Panthers and Kuechly and the Giants and Cruz and Beeson. Keep them out until they're healthy. Okay, don't rush them back. You want them healthy down the stretch when you start making your playoff push. So the Jets are smart to keep him out. They do have Eric Decker. They do have Brandon Marshall, like I said. They got Revis. I think Milner is going to play. I think Milner's going to play in Cromartie's place, so they should be okay there. They do have Terrell Pryor. I mean, they got guys. Calvin Pryor. They do have guys on defense, but I just think it's a really tough spot. I think it's a really tough spot for the Jets. I really do. I don't think they're going to get blown out. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think, but I do think the Colts are going to win. All right? So that's my picks for this week. I'll run them all down to you real fast. I got the Patriots. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills win, but I'm taking the Patriots. I got the Panthers. I got the Chargers for no other reason than their quarterback, like I said. I got the Saints because they're at home and Winston looked awful. I got the Titans, again, because of the two quarterbacks. I got the Cardinals, more so because the Bears are rebuilding. I just think the Cardinals are a better team. I got the Lions over the Vikings. I got the Giants over the Falcons. I got the Rams over the Redskins, the Ravens over the Raiders, Dolphins over the Jaguars, the Cowboys over the Eagles, even though I need the Eagles to win, the Packers over the Seahawks, and the Colts over the Jets. Those are your Week 2 picks. Obviously, we'll see what happened. I actually did really well last week in my picks. If you listen to my video, I think I went 13-3 in my picks last week. All right, which is not bad. Not bad at all, actually. If I was a betting man and I've laid money on those games like that, I would have came out well ahead. So that's my picks, though, for Week 2. It's going to be a fun week. Obviously, I'm going to be focused on the Giants. I'm actually really focused on the baseball season right now, too. You got the Mets and the Yankees both making their playoff pushes. The Mets are in first place. I think they're up by 7 or 8 games. They lost to the Yankees today. They're playing the Subway Series. Mets did win last night. The rubber game is tomorrow. You got Matt Harvey pitching. That's a whole other conversation with innings limits and all this other nonsense. I understand the guy just coming off Tommy John surgery, and he hasn't been paid real money yet. But when you're making a push for the playoffs and you want to be the Dark Knight and Gotham's warrior and star pitcher and all that kind of thing, you don't go hurry up here, dude. You're gonna waste more time than you would if you just picked a play. I don't know why he did that. But anyway, he's pitching tomorrow. We'll see what happens. The last time he pitched, he didn't pitch good. The Yankees they're chasing the Royals big time, but the Royals aren't slowing down. So they're still in the wild card, and if it comes down to the one game play-in, they're gonna have Tanaka pitching most likely. And why not? I mean, you saw what he did today. Look at that fumble. What I did? Sometimes you can't see it because it's so fast. But as he was running by me, I hit RB. I hit the strip button. I was able to just pull it out. I don't know how. Sometimes the strip button works. Sometimes it doesn't. This is a case where it did work. And like I said, I don't think this guy is actually all that bad as the score looks. I just think I made better plays than he did. But anyway, so I think the Yankees will make the playoffs. It's going to be tough, though, because, like I said, they're in the wild card. All right? They're not going to catch the Royals. The Royals are not going to slow down. I just don't see it. And the Mets, everyone keeps talking about all the collapses they've had in 07 and 08. It's different this year. Okay? They just have some sort of this Cinderella team in them. So I've been kind of focused on that, over the past couple of months too, and it's a good time for sports right now. It really is. NFL starting, in full swing now. The baseball playoffs are coming up. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I just want to show you this real quick. All right. Now, the guy that messaged me before, and I apologize if this video is going a little long, but I want to show you this real fast. All right, here's my record on this team right now: 68-9. I did buy bundles, of course. We know that. All right. Now, I just want to show you my budget squad real quick. Okay. Just real fast. I just want to show you this real fast because, according to him, it's all about the money spent and whatever. And like I said, I do apologize that I'm going long on this. I'm trying to give you guys as much insight as possible and do my picks for you. But I just got to address that guy real fast, just so you see what I'm talking about. All right, this team here, 85 overall. Okay, I just sold Tillman. He was my seasoned veterans guy. Okay. I'm 85 overall on this team, all right? My budget squad, all right? Here's my record. But it's all about the money spent. Remember that. What's the point of spending money? There. I'm 51-14 on this account. okay, on my budget squad. So I don't want to hear this bullshit about money spent. So I apologize. The video went long. You guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Enjoy your football weekend, and I'll see you next time. Later.